Y'all didn't like that she was an influencer. You wrote her off as an influencer. You basically tried to call her a broke bitch because she was an influencer. And I understand that she might not come from the money that you guys come from, but getting free shit, getting sponsorships, getting free travel, getting all this stuff, like she's the OG at it in this group. Hello, as you can see, I'm not looking raggedy today. And last week, honestly, there were 3 days where I did not look raggedy. I can say Thursday I was a little bit, I could do better, but on Saturday I made up for it. And if you follow my private, you know how. Anyways, welcome. Hello, hello. Welcome to the solo episode, the pop culture episode of Bravo, We're Black. And I am Kaya. I forgot that sometimes people introduce themselves on podcasts. I assume that you already know me, but some people don't know me. And hello, I'm Kaya or Kaya. I literally go by both. No one really knows what it truly is because I like the attention that it brings. Because people are like, is it Kaya or is it Kaya? Because you heard me say it both ways, depending on what platform I'm on or the way that you read it. And you'll never know. And that's Mike's Super Short Show. Y'all remember that? Mike's Super Short Show? Say that 3 times fast. Anyways, so obviously we're going to start with the Black Excellence Award. The Black Excellence Award this week goes to a few people. It's going to go to SZA, Keke Palmer, Issa Rae, and Michelle Obama. The first 3 is, well, okay, Issa Rae because she's a Capricorn, and SZA and Keke Palmer because they have this movie coming out called One of Them Days. And it looks like it's going to be like a female Friday. Like it's going to be great. It comes out, I think, actually Thursday of this week. I hope that you guys are going and planning on seeing it. We need more than huge blockbusters at the movie theater. I love huge blockbusters, but I'm a real moviegoer. A real moviegoer. Like remember when MoviePass came out and they made the mistake of charging $10 a month and you can see as many movies as you want. I'm one of the people who put MoviePass out of business because when that was truly unlimited, $10, me and that card were going to every single movie that I could possibly go to. It was just me and my MoviePass. Okay. And I remember one time that it's so funny. My friend none of my personal friends listen to the podcast. Maybe like in and out, a friend or two will come in and it's okay. I prefer it that way. It's in case I want to talk about them or just because it's kind of like, I don't know, like I'm not shy at all with my friends or with you guys or in general. I'm just not a shy person anymore. When I was little, I used to be very quiet. And I think that's why I yap so much now, because when I was little, I was not a yapper. I was observing everything. And I was studying basically like human behavior and how people are. And I knew from a very young age that I did not like, I did not want to fuck with people at all, just from studying their behavior. And I learned that very young. But anyways, MoviePass is what I was talking about. When MoviePass like first came out and you could truly go to the movies for $10 a month and see whatever movie you want as many times as you want, I actually lost my MoviePass one day and it came and I forgot which movie it was. It was when I was still living with my mom and I went down the stairs to get my MoviePass and that was the last, you can recall the last time you fell. I'm not talking about tripped. I'm not talking about a little skip, a little loop-de-loo. I'm talking about the last time you busted your ass. That was the last time I busted my ass going down the stairs to get a movie pass. Ass and pass. I can make a rap about it because that shit hurted. Not hurt. It hurted. In the words of Kodak, it hurted me though. And that's so funny. Maybe that's why I shouldn't have ran that MoviePass into the ground. Maybe that was my karma for putting that business out of business, but it's back. It's back in a different way. They have like credits. I tried the new one and it was just not giving. It's not giving the same way when it first launched. And I hope that they can work it out. But now Regal, AMC, and all these different places, they have their own version of their movie passes and how many movies you can see in a month. And I don't subscribe to that, even though I probably would save money. But where was I even going with this point? The point is, MoviePass is out there, but it's in a different way. That I think that they use credits now. And SZA and Keke Palmer is going to be starring in one of them days. Comes out Thursday. I will be going to see it probably over the weekend. I'll probably be able to tell you about it next Wednesday. They are my Black excellence. And then Michelle Obama for just simply saying that she will not be going to Trump's inauguration. No rhyme or reason, no explanation. She will just not be going. And period. Mind you, Issa Rae and Michelle Obama, both Capricorns. Capricorn season, bitch. Fuck you, ho. That's it. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to see you get inaugurated. I don't like you. I don't have to like you. My husband don't like you. He's just being cordial. Even if they do like each other, it's like, I don't have to like you, and I don't have to see this, and I don't have to give you a rhyme or reason. And I said what I said. I don't feel the need to be complacent. I don't feel the need to give you an explanation. It's just what I said. Capricorn season, period. Oh, speaking of Capricorn season, speaking of the Patreon, shout out to everyone who has joined the Patreon. Shout out to people who have been messaging me on the Patreon. I definitely upheld my promise. Last week I had 2 episodes. Well, 2 videos. I won't say episodes. This is extra content. I hope you guys can subscribe to support me if you just want to support me, or if you just want more content. There will be different kinds of content. It's not necessarily always just going to be extra podcasts. Like, for example, I did Swipe With Me last week. That got a very good response. I will be doing that again this week. That will be one of them. And another one was I had another episode, a whole 35-minute episode with Kendrick, who I will have here on the main podcast sooner rather than later. And it was just so fun to talk about these random things. I also recently uploaded those 2 recipes. The recipes was a ramen bowl and the mall bourbon chicken, and it was bussin'. Okay, like, that's it. That's it. Okay, I'm on my Meghan Markle shit. But this week on the Patreon, I will actually be getting my chart read by a professional astrologer of celebrities. Mind you, this chart reading is worth 300, 400 euros. I don't know how much that is in American money, but regardless, even if it was just simply $300, he's going to read my chart. I'm probably not going to upload the whole thing because we don't have like the same charts, but there are certain placements that, from what he says and from what people, not just him, but astrologers have been saying, it's at You Got No Mail, you guys. Me and him go way back. But anyways, it's like something is going on with, I don't know if I know that Capricorn is one of them, but there are certain placements that something is happening where the last like 18 years we've been through hell, which is, I feel like, is an accurate statement. And now something has moved out of the way and we're going to have like a good long stretch of things that come our way. And he's going to read my chart, tell me all about it. As you already know, I'm Capricorn. And it should be something that I record and upload to the Patreon. And also, just so you know, like, he is amazing. I don't know if I can tell you whose chart that he's read, but just know there's some very high profile celebrities charts that he's read. And he was recently in LA. Shout out to anyone in LA listening to this. I hope that I can get your mind off of things, even if it's just for a few minutes. I am praying for you. I hope that you are okay. I hope that you are somewhere safe. I hope that you are you're taking care of yourself. I hope that you're able to just have peace and know that a lot of things may be happening around you that you can't control, but what you can control is how you react to them. And I'm sorry, and it's okay to crash out, it's okay to freak out, and it's okay to stress out about what's going on. But after you get done with that, get back into yourself and know that you are going to be okay. I swear, like, you're going to be okay. And it's easier said than done. But he was recently in LA, very close to where the fires were, actually. And he went back to London recently. And I'm going to get my chart read by him. And he was reading a bunch of people. He has also undergone this amazing physical transformation that you guys, if you follow You Got No Mail, you probably have noticed. He is one of those TikTok hotties now. So that is so interesting to watch and inspiring to watch, because I remember when he was, just like an average Joe, and he was cute, but now he's CW hot, and I love that for him. So shout out to You Got No Mail, aka Sebastian. Okay, so let's get into what I want to talk about this week. There are a couple shows. I know that I always say I'm going to make this quick. I don't know how long this is going to be. And watch this actually be one of the shorter episodes. I've already been talking for like 10 minutes anyways. But I want to talk about Dubai Bling. And let me bring up the stars of Dubai Bling, because baby, that is one of my mother effing shows. I love that show down. I miss Bling Empire. I feel like it was Selling Sunset and Bling Empire that started the core for Netflix reality shows. They came out around the same time, the same year, and it was just like, okay, this is reality, but is it really? They call it like soap reality or soap docu-soaps. That's what they call it. But I love obnoxious displays of wealth for certain people, like people that aren't constantly in my face, I guess. Like I watch Dubai Bling once every, 6 months they come out with a season, or once a year they come out with a season. And then I put them in the back of my mind, and then I go on to some other people that I don't know that have obnoxious displays of wealth, which is going to be very soon Young, Rich, and African, or Young, Famous, and African. Young, Famous, and African. Either way, we are so back, guys. I remember on the African show, which is coming out, I think January 22nd, they said. It'll be this month. They had someone wake them up playing piano music. Do you know how rich you gotta be to trust someone in your house to play piano music for you to even wake up? Like, I can't. Like, I can't. And they do a great job of showing us like the different parts of Africa. It's Ghana, it's South Africa, it's Johannesburg, it's all these different places, Nigeria, all these different places, and they all represent different parts of Africa, and I love watching it. But obviously on Dubai Bling, the star, or the messiest bitch that loves drama, is Ebraheem. Ebraheem, who I think that he actually got divorced from his wife. And it's not my place to say, but you can tell by either the silence or the way that I'm staring at the screen. Ebraheem and his wife, I believe, got divorced. His wife. Ebraheem is the richest on the cast. I believe I think it's Ebraheem, and I know that Hurrdat Beauty, the girl from the girl that makes all the makeup with her sisters. It's either her, Mona, or Ebraheem. Either one of them, like, they are the richest. But Ebraheem and DJ Bliss and Danya and that whole storyline where he's supposed to be her best friend, but he literally ruined her freaking announcement. And then they have like the Besties Cafe, and he got into a physical altercation with DJ Bliss. The debate online, which I didn't even know there was a debate, because I'm the kind of person that's like, if you shake, you got to get ready to get shook. Okay. So when Ebraheem and DJ Bliss were arguing, maybe Ebraheem did not mean to push the stuff into Bliss's face, but he did. He got up and he pushed all that shit off the table into DJ Bliss's face, and DJ Bliss threw a plate back, and the plate hit Ebraheem's eye, and it cut his eye. And a lot of the people online are saying that Bliss was wrong to cut Ebraheem's eye. But then other people, like me, Ebraheem was the one who started it. You can't, even if it was if we're arguing, okay? We're arguing, and you get up, we're at the table, you look like you're about to charge against me, you slide everything under the table onto me, I'm picking shit up and I'm throwing it at you. I don't care. I don't play fair. Be for real. And honestly, if my homegirls are with me, you're getting jumped too. Let's keep it a buck. So they're better than me. And the thing about it is, Bliss instantly showed remorse and he wanted to apologize. And a lot of people online are saying that Bliss is wrong for throwing the plate and cutting his face. But that man was defending himself. You cannot shake and not expect to get shook back. That's so crazy to me. After all the things that Ebraheem put him through, telling about his wife's pregnancy, stressing his wife out, like just being a jerk in general, all of these seasons, I'm surprised no one beat his ass before this. To me, that wasn't enough. He needs an ass whooping. Simple. So that is very, very weird to me. I wonder whose side you're on. And I want to know, if you are on Ebraheem's side, can you tell me, like, in the name of self-defense, why and how are you on Ebraheem's side? Because what do you think Bliss should have done differently? He should have just let him throw all that shit on him and not have a reaction? It's crazy. Another storyline on there was obviously LJ and this new girl. I forgot the new girl's name, but let me see if I can find her name. I think it's Joanna. Y'all remember Joanna Man? Joanna, she and LJ apparently have had beef because LJ talked to Joanna's ex online, and she was flirting and sending hearts and stuff on Instagram, which I totally understand why Joanna did not want to talk to her at all. But I thought it was something a little more serious than that. The way that they were acting was like, you would think that LJ went further than that, and did something really wrong to Joanna Man. Not Joanna Man, Joanna. I don't know if I like her as a new addition. She was cool. I don't like or dislike her. Mahira is also a new one. And I think that she was the one who had the divorce, and they had like a divorce party where they were able to, like, after the divorce, they had these things where they took like hammers and they just busted them up, and they were able to like get that out of their systems. I think that that was amazing. I think that that was cool. I think that that is obviously another obnoxious display of wealth, because everyone was dressed down to the T, and she was also dressed down to the T. I love that white feather on her eyelash. I think that was a feather that she cut and she put it on her eyelash. I want to know, like, what is that? Does anyone know? Because I want to do that same thing. It was very avant-garde. It was high fashion. It was something that I never, not that I never saw before, because I've seen people do, extensions on their eyelashes, but I just never saw it like that before. It just looks really good. And I wonder, is it a feather that she just put on? And the way that it was shaped, is it something that I can buy on Amazon, on Shein, before they start putting tariffs on stuff? Okay, before they start putting tariffs on stuff, I need to know where to get those lashes that she had. And she just looked so freaking beautiful. Who I do like and who has been trying to tell y'all about Ebraheem this whole time is not Safa. Safa I'll get to. The girl, Zaina. She's strong, she's independent. That is someone who her partner also got into it, I think, with Ebraheem, or got into it with someone on the cast. But it was good to see that, like, she had someone to speak up for her this season. When it comes to Safa and her man, their relationship is very interesting because you can tell that she is not attracted to him in any way, shape, or form, but she desperately does not want to lose him. And I get it because he is making bank. It was interesting. They put a lot of the men at the forefront this season. We had a lot of more. Did y'all notice that? Like a lot more men meetups, a lot of like men in the confessionals, a lot of, I don't know, partners. And it's okay, but let's get back to the women now. Safa obviously is worried about his health because he had some concerns with his health when I think he said he went on a roller coaster and he wasn't feeling good after. And he has gained like a lot of weight. It was sad to see about his mom and how like it related his relation, how it related to his food, because he finds comfort in food. And and when he went under psychosis or he got hypnotized, he didn't think that was possible. Like that wasn't the thing that was going on. But after the hypnotist told him that it could be that, and he's missing his mom who has passed away, it was super sad. I think the most obnoxious, not display of wealth, but the most obnoxious event in general was Safa's party to say goodbye to her car. I don't know if it was a Lambo or what it was, but it was so crazy and stupid that they had a whole event around her having to say bye to her car. I hated it and loved it at the same time because I'm like, are you freaking serious? Are you serious? Another person that I did not expect to take the spotlight was Farhana. She was the OG influencer among the group. I remember they shamed her for being an influencer, and now everyone just wants to be famous on Instagram. They want the best Instagram photos. They want the deals. They want the sponsorships. They want this. They want that. I'm thinking, like, y'all didn't like that she was an influencer. You wrote her off as an influencer. You basically tried to call her a broke bitch because she was an influencer. And I understand that she might not come from the money that you guys come from, but getting free shit, getting sponsorships, getting free travel, getting all this stuff, like she's the OG at it in this group. But she actually had a real storyline with her baby daddy, who allegedly cheated on her, was not there for her special needs son. And now he's back and he wants to bring the bitch that he cheated with around. And she's not going for it. And I don't fucking blame her. You're not going to cheat on me, not be there for your special needs son, and then want to come back around and say, this is my son, I should be able to bring him around who I want to. You're definitely not bringing him around the bitch that you cheated on me with. Sorry. And he's the kind of guy that is just denying it. And him saying it out loud does not mean that it's true. He's just like, I never cheated. I just left her because I guess she was not happy because I think that he lost some money. So they have two different stories about how the breakup went down. She's saying that he cheated. He's saying that he left because she was acting weird because the money was funny. And I don't know what to believe, but I do know that I believe that she is taking care of her special needs son, and she's the one who's been there putting in the actual hard work and time. So leave it at that. But for was that for Hannah? Yes, for Hannah, you did that damn thing, girl, this season. And obviously they left it on a cliffhanger, so I'm hoping that they get renewed for a new season. I personally am weary because Bling Empire and Bling Empire New York both left off on cliffhangers, as you should do because you're at the end of a show. But if you're planning to, try to pick up production again, you want to leave a hook for the people who watch it. But they both left off on cliffhangers, and I have questions about the people that are on Bling Empire, that are on Bling Empire New York, and they're gone now. So Netflix, I hope that you renew Dubai Bling. I love this show. I can't wait for Young, Famous, and African, or Young, Famous, and African, Young, Famous, Rich, Young, Famous, African, and Rich. All four of those, whatever. I would talk about Selling the City, but there's no excuse for not having any Black people on it. I'm sorry. That's just, and it pisses me off because it's also like there's other shows around and you don't really expect certain shows to not have Black people on them. But when it comes to the Selling franchise, Selling OC, they canceled Selling Tampa, but Sherelle Rosado will be back on Wags to Riches, which is another show that I will absolutely be tuning into. I don't know if I will be talking about it on here or where, or if I'll be keeping it to myself. But, Selling Tampa, Selling Sunset, they had Amanza from, the first season. And I understand that Amanza is mixed and that there's a mixed girl on the Selling the City cast, but they eventually got Chelsea. But it's just like, it's too much. Selling OC has Brandy, and she is fully Black. And it's not that they have to be fully Black to count or anything. It's just when you go to for example, Sold on Salt Lake City on Bravo, they have a Black lesbian in Utah in the Mormon community. So if it was sold on Salt Lake City, I'm not expecting any Black people to be there. But if we're talking about a New York show, New York is the most diverse place in the world. Of course, I'm going to be expecting a couple Black people. If you had men on there, get rid of the men. They're useless anyway. Get rid of the men and put a Black woman on there, or at least a Black guy on there. Like, it's just crazy. You're supposed to be representing New York City. We're not representing middle of America. We're not representing someplace that you can't find Black people that are real estate people. You are representing, obviously, what's supposed to be the most diverse city in America. So it's just no excuse with that. Sorry. Now, if it was Selling the Wyoming, then I would understand. But that, trash. Not only that, they're selling apartments. And I understand in New York, apartments are a way of living, but there is also a lot of housing in New York, especially when you're in the millions and millions. So I don't want to see someone lease out an apartment and talk about the amenities in the complex. Ugh, yuck. I can see that in real life. I can go on a tour right now. I want to see multi-million-dollar houses, people arguing, and then also their fashion is terrible. I need to see crazy avant-garde, Dorit style dressing, because they're half naked, but their shit looks like it comes from Fashion Nova, So Selling the City is a no-go for me. Next thing, the Upshaws. Solid. Solid as a rock. Well, solid. The Upshaws Part 6 was released. It had the episode with Nene Leakes and Cynthia Bailey on it. Wanda Sykes' character, Cree, I'll call her because her name is Lucretia. Cree does not want to be a housewife, okay? If you remember the last part, her and her man ran off to Atlanta, got married, didn't tell nobody. That's what I'm going to do. Well, no, because I got to tell y'all. Because I manifested it in front of y'all, so I need to include y'all in my journey. But her and her man ran off to Atlanta, got married, and she was just like drinking all the time, stuck in the house, didn't have anything to do. Meanwhile, obviously, Benny and the family, they are actually up to pretty much their regular antics. And Cree, she misses it. And she's thinking, like, what am I going to do? Am I going to like throw like a house party and make some new friends? Am I just going to stay to myself? Am I going to pick up a new hobby? What am I going to do in Atlanta when all of my people are in a different city, period? And she has like this daydream where she thinks that she is on The Real Housewives of Atlanta or a spoof of that. And they have like this really funny argument of like who's going to take each other to Jamaica, and just like a superficial argument that you would typically see on a Housewives franchise. And it was just so good to see Nene and Cynthia reunited, and also Lucretia basically dressed up like an Atlanta housewife. It was just so funny. She even has like this part where she's like standing on top just to be like as tall as Nene. And it was just so fun to watch and bring back those memories and just see them together on screen. Also, the season in general, I loved. I think it was really funny, but it also had its serious moments. It had 10 episodes, so thank you, Netflix, for feeding us. So Netflix not only gave us something at the top of the year, which we really needed, obviously. They also gave us 10 episodes for Part 6. They gave us a Nene Leakes and Cynthia Bailey reunion. And also Part 7 is coming out, and they gave us 10 episodes. Part 7 will be the last part. I hate it, but I love knowing that I have one more part to go. I don't ever want this show to end, but all good things come to an end. But I just need to thank Netflix for giving us all these things, baby, because I love that show. But anyways, Lucretia ends up deciding to tell her husband, who's very rich, I need to fly back and forth because I need to see what my sister and them got going on, what Benny and them got going on. And she ends up flying back and forth. And her husband is like very accommodating to that. So she goes to see Regina. Well, but she doesn't tell Regina that she's coming back. So she goes and she picks up her niece from school because her niece is like mad at her because she left and didn't tell them that, she was leaving. And she had a very close bond with her niece. She's basically a second mother to these kids. And her niece is just like, you didn't tell me that you were leaving. I'm mad at you. So she wanted to pick her up from school. And she actually gets arrested because Regina didn't know that Lucretia was back. And Lucretia was on the list to pick her up. So she was like, there's no way that Lucretia picked up my daughter because my sister is in Atlanta right now. So it was just so funny because the little girl got her arrested because she basically lied and said that she didn't know the person that was driving her, which was Lucretia, and she didn't know her. Anyways, Tasha had a storyline where she and her boyfriend, I think his name was Daniel, they broke up last season, and Benny is in charge of basically making sure that she has some place to stay because she got kicked out, and he literally had to pay for the days in on his credit card, and she was doing hair in one of his coworkers' house that asked him to house sit, and it was a mess. But she ended up getting back with her X and Kelvin. Okay, that's the only complaint that I have, is that they gave Kelvin very little storyline, but the storyline that they gave him was that he stole from his dad, and his dad was mad at him, and we basically didn't see him for the rest of the season. And they broke up Kelvin and his girlfriend, and we didn't see her for most of the season, but we did get to see Aaliyah. So at least we got to see Aaliyah. She is growing up. She's beautiful. She had a pretty good, storyline. But what Regina, okay, so what everyone is up to, I told you about Lucretia, but Regina, she is thinking about basically running for a part in the city, and she decides that she is going to, and something gets exposed about her past or whatever. So she's always, doing something different. And they even address that in the show, that she's always got something going on. Like one day you want to go to school, one day you want to open a business, one day you want to do this, you want to do that. So yeah, that's what's going on with Regina. Obviously, Benny has things going on with the garage, the car garage, the automotive thing. I don't know, what do you call that? Where he fixed stuff. He's a car fixer guy, a mechanic. The mechanic shop. There we go. He has things going on with the mechanic shop. He ends up being able, because his son, Bernard, pays him back for helping him open the gym. And I had thought that he had a good storyline too, because his storyline was basically him and his boyfriend decided that they were going to be open. And it's ironic because it was Bernard's idea to be open. But once it came to it, he realized that he didn't want to be open, but his partner did. So him and his partner break up. And you could tell that they're kind of cutting off people for budget and because they're coming to a close. But Benny ends up getting the money back to pay Lucretia for the shop. And she's like, listen, I invested more than just money in the shop. And that was literally like freaking 15 years ago. I gave you this money to open the shop, and you're now just giving it back to me. You owe me the money plus interest. I'm actually want to be a partner in this shop. And she kind of feels done away with. So what I did like was that they had a real moment between Benny and Lucretia. And she reminds him, who do you guys go to every time you need something? Do you just think that I'm like a banker? I give out loans? Like, no, I'm a part of the family. And that's something that she struggles with. We see a lot of feelings on Benny when his son steals from him with Kelvin. We don't get to see him serious a lot. So that was shocking to see him serious. And we also see a lot of feelings with Lucretia, who we also see joke around a lot and argue with Benny. But her and Benny had a real moment. And I enjoyed seeing that. So the ending, cliffhanger, well, y'all gotta watch it. The ending cliffhanger was good. I can't wait to see what happens on part 7. I can't wait to see who guest stars on it. Yvette Nicole Brown was also another guest star on this season, and it was pretty fun to watch, and it was hilarious. I love Mike Epps. I think that he is hilarious. Aaron does not like Mike Epps. This was news to me. I found this out in real time when you guys found it out, when I was listening back with him and Raven. Him and Raven both don't like Mike Epps, but Aaron does watch the Upshaws. I love Mike Epps. I think he's hilarious. I think that I don't know if he's not better than Chris Tucker in Friday, but I think that he's a great partner to play off of Ice Cube, because not only do I love Friday, but I love All About the Benjamins, okay? Anyways. Oh, the last thing I want to say about the Upshaws is that Lucretia's husband, what's his name? Let me see if I can find it. I forgot his name, but I don't like the way that he talked to Benny and he called him a clown. Like Lucretia said, she's the only one that can call him a clown, and she's the only one who can say that out loud. And you also don't know him like that. That's so rude, because he wanted to get, in the family, and he just got too comfortable. So he still rubs me the wrong way. That was very rude of him, and I don't know if I'm going to forgive him for that, because don't call Benny a clown. Only Lucretia can do that. Don't be fucking rude. But I do like that this episode or this series deals with mental health, because obviously Regina had a mental health crisis, It deals with father-son relationships and broken relationships, but it also shows that there's a lot of love and heart in that family. So I'm going to always love the Upshaws, and that's why I'm sad to say goodbye. But let's get into the last thing, which is Drag Race. I won't spend too much time on it because now I'm running into literally like 40 freaking minutes by myself. And I'm going to have a guest this Saturday. And I can't wait for you guys to hear the guest. And obviously, I'm going to have Aaron back very soon. But it's not going to be Aaron. That's the guest. Doechii was on Drag Race and she looked the fuck good. Her makeup was literally perfect. Hair was perfect. Skin was glowing, moisturized, beautiful. They even lip synced to Alter Ego, and that was one of the best lip syncs on the planet. Okay, it was fun. The white girls tore the motherfucking house down. Period. So let's get into some of the queens. It's season 17, and I am expecting these people to step their pussy up. And I am not disappointed with this second group. I think that the second group did better than the first group. I do want to start with the Is It Cake theme. I thought that was amazing because they were so freaking creative with the Is It Cake. Obviously, some showed out more than others, but, they did a damn thing. Obviously, the star of the show was Lexi Love, who they clowned and they tried to bring down this entire time. She came out on those roller skates and she rode her way right into the top spot. People loved Lexi Love on the show, off the show, online, offline. She is the underdog that people are rooting for. Someone said that she looked like Kristen Doty, and I was like, she literally does. Crystal Envy. Last week I gave like performance numbers. 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10 for Lexi Love. Crystal Envy, I like Crystal Envy because she is a gorgeous girl. I think she would do a really good Christina Aguilera. She is gorgeous. I will say her talent show talent was very pageanty. It didn't gag me too much. She did like a somersault, which I like a good somersault, but it was okay. I would say maybe like 6.5 out of 10. Who else? Hormona Lisa. That was the flat note of the show. She looks like sadness from inside out. I'm sorry, it had to be said. She did comedy. It wasn't funny. I will say I'll leave it at 6 out of no. I'm gonna have to be savage. 5 out of 10. I didn't laugh not once. It was just very awkward. Corey the King. The espresso thing, I love the attitude. I loved the look. Mainly, I loved like the makeup, the blue and like the silver. It was charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. A definitely solid 8 out of 10. My personal favorite, Anya Nerve. It was sassy. It was like everything that I needed to know. I knew from that one performance who Anya Nerve is, and I threaded this. Anya Nerve is exactly who she thinks she is. Now, Lana is also a top one. Oh, Anya Nerve, that's going to get a 9 out of 10. Lana is also a top contender to me. She is skinty, but she's still giving body. I love the orange. It complemented her skin. The talent, it was mainly just like lip syncing. I wasn't like gagged, but she absolutely looked amazing. I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. Now, Sam Starr, that was a country performance. And I remember that they didn't want to go to have 2 country performances the same week. I know that they were saying that Sam Star was doing a different kind of country performance, and it was. I like this better than Acacia Forgot. Even though Acacia Forgot, I do have to, give the props where props are due. I think that Sam Star ate that up. I'm going to give Sam Star a 7 out of 10 for sure. That whole, what is it called? I think it was Mona Lisa that was in the bottom, and she had to pull like a lever, like pull the lever, crunk, to see if she could stay or she could go home. I didn't like that. I don't like the voting either of the queens that are being in the bottom. I don't like any of that. I want RuPaul and them to deliberate, and RuPaul and them choose who has to lip sync for their life, and RuPaul and them, decides who did the lip sync best and go home. Like, I don't want this voting system. I don't want the pulling the lever, because of course she got lucky for some reason and she is staying for another week. And I feel like people, especially with talent shows, that's really hard to pull off because you have to prepare that from scratch. And also like the looks, the cake looks, everyone really worked hard on it. So I don't know. I don't like the way that the voting process is, but obviously I'm just there for the entertainment. And On Your Nerve won in my heart, but Lexi Love did do the damn thing. So shout out to Drag Race. It was very entertaining. What else? This week, XO Kitty is coming to Netflix. So I think that is on Thursday. So I'm excited about that. And obviously, Salt Lake City is having the best season ever, and it's coming to an end this week. I could cry. I love them girls down. There's just a lot. There's a lot coming out. There's a lot to look forward to. There's a lot going on. I just am still praying for, obviously, the people of LA. And y'all stay strong. And if you're listening to this or looking at this, I love you. You stay strong. I will be back on Saturday with a guest. And let me know what you think of these shows. And yeah, that's it. I'll see y'all later. Bye.